What is going on, everybody? It is episode 620 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. We are officially back from Memorial Day weekend. I hope you enjoyed yours. Today we are Injured Culture Crisis.
Do you want to explain to everyone what happened?
Well, to me or to you? I feel like your injury is more serious.
No. I dislocated my pinky over the weekend.
That's way worse than mine.
But what happened to you?
I was shooting, and there was someone shooting next to me, and I had a hot brass shell casing just flinged into my face. I have makeup on it right now, so you really can't tell all that much. It's on this side. And it just fell in between the barrier of my sunglasses and my face and just sat there instead of falling down, and it made me cry. I'm not gonna lie. I still got good marks though. Yeah,
there you go. And the best part is like it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the glasses.
The damn sunglasses, which are supposed to be your eye protection.
Yeah.
I didn't bring eye protection because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they were like, oh, if you have sunglasses, it's fine as a substitute.
Yeah.
And that ended up being my downfall. Yeah. But how did you do this to your pinky? Because you're gonna have to be having your pinky out like it's a tea party.
Yeah, it's not that interesting. I fell skating and basically I should have pulled up the pictures. The pictures actually make it look.
I don't know if that's YouTube friendly to show like your dislocated finger.
You can see it on my Twitter. I posted over the weekend. But basically, I hit it while skating. I fell, and I didn't really it hurt, but it hurt is a relative term. Finger injuries aren't really all that bad. They're annoying, but they're not usually generally very painful. And it got swollen throughout the day, and it was fine. I could still move it, but it was sore. And then when I got home and I went to take a shower, I closed the shower curtain and I just felt it just completely separate. And
sorry for laughing. That's just wild imagery.
It was funny. It was it worked out. It was fine. I had to go and look. I had to go, and the worst part is I had to go to the actual doctor, because the thing is, if you try to set something, like if you try to set it when it's not relocate it and it's broken and not dislocated, that's very, very bad. And I've broken all my fingers at least once. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, not fun, but all is well. It just makes typing a little bit more difficult. So but we are injured. But before we get started, guys, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. Ring the bell for notifications. I don't think I ever used that phrase. Ring the bell for notifications.
What do you say? Turn on notifications?
Yeah, turn on the bell for notifications. Also remember, guys, to share this video with your friends, loved ones, colleagues, people that hate you. The more people that find this podcast through you sharing it, the quicker the show grows. It really is the best way to help the show pick up steam, so go ahead and thank you for that. Remember, all Super Chats, $20 and over, we will interrupt the discussion, and we will read those Super Chats right then and there.
I didn't even notice we reached 115K over the weekend.
We got screwed again. So we had a video over the weekend, the one about it was the
millennial women are in a crisis.
They are. They're in a crisis, and it got a bunch of traction because people had a problem with the fact that we were broad brushing them. And the issue with that is that when you get 40,000 views on it,
it's at around 40K right now.
And here's the problem. It had copyrighted music on there, so not even any revenue from it. We're just here to help you guys.
We're just doing it for the cause.
That's what the whole
whatever that may be.
But that video did very, very well, which did help us get to 115,000
Several
subscribers.
videos, actually.
So thank you guys for checking those out. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, first things first, the internet was ablaze over the weekend talking about Furiosa. If half the people that talked about it had gone and seen the movie, it would have done gangbuster numbers at the box office. But everybody, maybe it's because my Twitter feed is algorithmically set to what I read about, which is box office stuff.
I saw a lot of it too.
Yeah, it felt like the only thing people were talking about over the weekend was the fact that Furiosa bombed at the box office. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it getting mogged by Garfield at the box office and all of the things that go with it. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how the director of the original Little Mermaid has got some choice words for Disney about where politics fall in the pecking order of storytelling. So we've got that. We're also going to talk about Ted Sarandos, the Netflix CEO, who delusionally said that Barbenheimer would have been just as big if both of those movies had come out on Netflix. I don't really agree with that.
Press X to doubt.
Yes. So we're going to talk about that. Also, if you guys have been following the epic tale of crying cupcake lady and her Scientologist husband.
This is going to confuse anyone who isn't chronically online.
Yes.
But basically, there was a video of a single mom baking her own birthday cake because...
And crying.
Yeah, she was crying on TikTok, as you do, as a millennial woman should. Ugh. And then her ex-husband decided to speak out and tell his side of the story. And then she had to respond to him. And basically, everyone is trying to decide who is in the right.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into. So we will just not waste any more time. Mary, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go ahead. Let's get started. First things first, more bad news for Blade, as if more could possibly come out. More delays.
I think they said this is the 5th or maybe the 6th.
It was the 6th
time that this show has gone through a major rewrite. Mm-hmm. And it's the 3rd writer that they're on right now.
Yeah.
This is like in a whole other circle of production hell, if you will, that they've descended to. And it's like, when do you call it quits?
Marshall Ali is going to be like 10 years older by the time it's done. There's going to be shots.
What's even the point?
There's a $20 one there from Wisco. I'm assuming that's short for Wisconsin. Wisco Welder?
Wisco Welder. Brett, thank you for talking about Roku Live TV so much. My wife is on maternity leave and has ran out on shows to stream, and Roku has given her something to watch, even if it's only background noise.
Well, that's what you should really be watching TV for, is background noise. So.
That's why you watch it. You're also on maternity leave.
Yes, correct. Well, yeah. And I'm usually on my phone and then put it on in the background. I've kind of been moving over a little bit more to. I've been back on Amazon Prime lately. It'll probably get brought up today. I'm watching this fun show from 2020 called Almost Paradise with Christian Kane. It was a Dean Devlin show. Of course, Christian Kane also did Leverage and The Librarians with that same showrunner. It's a lot of fun. It takes place the whole thing is filmed in the Philippines. So, but Roku TV is excellent. It's a great place to find TV. And the one thing I like about it more than anything, I've realized why, is it like when you pause the show. Yeah. It shows you exactly how many ads you have to suffer through. So I can
like on YouTube has the little yellow markers there.
So it's like it mentally prepares me for all of the Clorox bleach ads and such that I'm
You've
going
memorized
to be stuck
all
with.
of them so far.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what I like about that more than anything else. But as far as Blade goes, yeah, maybe just I don't know about calling it quits, but maybe just get Wesley Snipes back and watch everything just fall into place. You don't need to get rid of Wesley Snipes.
Wait, so this is a show or a movie?
This is a movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it were a show, they would have just gotten rid of the idea altogether by now.
I think it was originally... somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was like... it was both. At one point, it was going to be a show, and then it was going to be a movie. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
They need to get their ish together over there.
Yep. Marvel used to be the one that you used to look to for a certain amount of certainty. Like DC was always changing plans. Every time the critics would roast something, they would change course. And Marvel's like, this is your schedule. This is your chronological order of everything that's going to come out. Here's when it's going to come out. There you go. Now it's ever since they made Disney Plus a thing, they haven't been able to keep to that.
But how the turntables.
Well, they both suck now. That's the problem.
They're not like they're both minnows, I guess. There's no shark.
Correct. All right. So just keep a lookout for that. There's other news here. Did you know that there was a movie about Ronald Reagan coming out? Because I did not.
I had not heard a single thing about this, but it's an election year. So is this like trendy?
I suppose. And the thing is, I saw a couple of conservative influencers, what you would deem conservative influencers, who were making ads talking about this movie.
Who are they? Name names.
I'm not going to name names.
Name names.
And they had like the hashtag Reagan partner, which means that they're trying to advertise the movie to a conservative audience.
Oh, don't disclose the ad. Just
Yeah, just do it. But this article says Reagan movie will test the box office for conservative audiences.
Hey, I'm kind of offended. Why weren't we reached out to be Reagan partners?
Seriously, bro.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
And here's why you would want to. I saw this on Twitter the other day. It says, I didn't realize there was a biopic coming out starring Dennis Quaid as Ronald Reagan, so I was looking up some info about it, and we need to talk about this. Look who is playing Frank Sinatra. Scott Stapp from Creed.
And how many other people? Nick Searcy as James Baker.
There's a great list. C. Thomas Howell is a great actor.
John Voight.
Mina Savari, John Voight, Leslie Ann Down, and then down here Robert Davi. So Robert Davi, Nick Searcy have both been on IRL. Xander Berkeley is a fantastic actor. So they got a lot of big names to act in this movie.
Maybe we should go to the premiere and make a little video of it.
We could do that.
Interview everyone about the Reagan movie.
I wonder if we could do that. I wonder. Well, I don't know when the premiere will be. So Reagan people, reach out to us.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the email.
Do you want to watch the trailer?
I don't know why we haven't gotten it. Sure.
Okay.
I'm interested.
It's in theaters
vaguely.
August 30th. So here we go.
Welcome to
This is already awful. What's with this music choice? What is with this music choice for this trailer?
It reminds me of the first time I remember somebody pointing this out was when the Assassin's Creed movie was made. The trailer was like a Kanye song, like a dark remix of a Kanye song. And I'm like, does that really need to be in an Assassin's Creed trailer? But let's continue.
Tired governor can do, but a president, now he can do a thing or two.
It's a child. It's a child singing.
I will be frank with you that as a citizen, I would not like to see any political party outlawed on the basis of its ideology, because I still believe, Mr. Chairman, that democracy can handle it.
Okay.
All right. I mean, good production value, terrible song choice.
Song choice is
good
bad.
Voice.
Production value was good.
Yeah.
Production value was very high for that. So I enjoyed it.
How long was that?
That was 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes.
Felt longer.
3-minute trailer.
That's crazy. Okay.
3-minute trailer.
Felt like I watched the movie already.
I mean, it's. I'm surprised it's not being turned into a TV show. But where would they
make
put
more
it?
sense, right? A limited series or something.
Where would they put it, though? I guess what streaming service would even want it?
Daily Wire Plus. I don't know. Figure it out.
Who's playing Gorbachev? Okay, so Alexander Krupa is playing Gorbachev. Okay.
Frank Sinatra
Scott
is
Stapp.
in it for what reason?
I have no idea. I'm excited though. I'm excited to see it. It's gonna be fun. Look, I'm not a huge fan of. I liked W, and I liked JFK, but for the most part, those are movies that I watch once and then I don't watch again because they don't really have the replay value for me.
I only in that vein. I only watched Chappaquiddick, and I think that's only about the Kennedy family and this effed up scandal that they had. But I mean,
it feels like if it was a TV show, it would be based solely around a specific incident.
I guess, yeah.
Like it would.
Is this supposed to span across? His
multiple,
whole life.
Like if it was a TV show, I feel like it would be just about one specific thing, either just about him and Gorbachev or something else like that.
Yeah.
But keep a lookout for that, guys, because that will be coming out at the end of August.
Do you think that this would ever be? I mean, what's the studio behind this?
I didn't recognize the studio name for this. Oh, what was it here? I'd have to look it up. See if we can.
Is it some kind of alternative media thing?
Yeah, it's probably an alt media thing. Again, I just found out about this over the weekend. So
I mean, that shows if it's an alt media studio that it's alt media leveling up.
We'll have to wait and see
what they're capable of.
It's on their own channel, so it's not from a big production house. So keep a lookout for that one, guys. All right. You'll have to explain this to people. This is such a hard turn the other direction, topic-wise.
Gay stuff.
Yeah.
No, I noticed that buck breaking is a continued trend in Hollywood, and traditionally masculine characters are getting feminized constantly. And now who you once knew as James Bond is going to be in an upcoming film titled Queer. It's Daniel Craig and Drew Starkey. You've never heard of him. And it will feature a lot of sex scenes, gay sex scenes of James Bond and this other guy.
And to be fair, Mary would say she doesn't want any sex scenes among any people.
Really, it just doesn't make sense from a marketing perspective either. like aside my views about sexual morality, you cannot market movies to gay people if it's not a streaming only movie.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what this is going to be. But wow, Daniel Craig, how far he has fallen.
Oh, I mean, he probably loves doing stuff like this.
Is he gay?
No, he's not. He's married. But
Okay, that's really just so bizarre to me. I would guess that most women wouldn't want to watch their husbands getting railed, but that's, you know, I must be the crazy one. I'm not uninhibited enough.
It depends on how explicit the scenes are.
And on top of that, I saw first look at Dylan O'Brien in HBO's Phantasmus. I guess that's a new HBO show. And they have him wearing women's lingerie, cross-dressing in this series. Because why not?
I will not leave it on screen and bother people with it further.
Yeah, no need to look at that any longer than necessary. But still, I mean, I'm just going to take note, right? It's not just, I know there's a lot of talk of like black actors, you know, in Hollywood getting feminized, getting emasculated, things that are called ritual humiliations that may or may not be. And Dave Chappelle talking about how he was encouraged to cross-dress and they just really want like black actors to wear dresses. It's not just a racial thing. I think it's all men in Hollywood now are being encouraged to cross-dress, to play gay characters, in general, to promote themselves as androgynous, and it's fashionable.
Yeah.
It's really not just black actors at this point.
And it's good for their careers because it seems to get them further roles down the line.
Or maybe just more media hype.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like a good career move to me, but I
mean, Daniel Craig's made his money.
wrong.
He can do whatever he wants now. So.
And I guess this is what he wanted all along,
I guess
isn't
so.
it?
All right. But on a lighter note, Lana Del Rey talking about climate change.
This could have been cringe of the day, but I don't find it cringe. I think this just made me love Lana more. Here are her comments about global warming.
8 seconds of gold.
Oh, yeah, it's changed so much, so much. The climate is so warm. The waters are so warm. Oh, yeah.
The waters are so warm.
I think the best part is the music, the somber music.
The climate, it's so warm out there.
It's just not easy.
We have to take this seriously. It's getting warm.
Yeah, it's changed so much, so much. The climate is so warm. The waters are so warm.
I mean, maybe she just goes places with heated pools.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and heated toilet seats.
It's not easy being rich and famous. And then I did see a really funny post going around over the weekend about how she's a riches to rags story, where she was born into money and now wants to live a life where she looks like she wants to be in a trailer park.
I'm not sure if she was born into money. I know she definitely didn't grow up poor, but she was sent off to boarding school. She became an alcoholic at age 14. She kind of lived on her own in she did actually live in a trailer on her own for a while before she got discovered. And there was a laptop full of her old music that she would make on her own that was stolen, and that's why it's all on SoundCloud now, which I'm thankful for.
Okay. All right.
We'll always appreciate her.
We're going to get copyright struck for this one, that is for sure. This and the
It's
Reagan
worth
movie.
it.
This
It's worth
and the
it.
Reagan movie are going to get us copyright struck. But this is good because this is Lizzo reacting to, if you guys didn't know, over the weekend, South Park released basically an Ozempic special. And you'll
I haven't watched it yet, but I assumed you would have.
I'm 10 minutes in. I
Okay.
literally just started it last night. I got so into the show Almost Paradise that I forgot I was going to watch it over the weekend. So I'm 10 minutes in to the part where the doctor basically tells Cartman that he's like, I can't prescribe you Ozempic because you're not diabetic. But he's like, we got this miracle drug now. It can make you thin. And he has like dreams of going to school and making fun of people and then them not being able to call him fat.
Well, in the show, there's like a fake commercial for a diet suppressant, which is a off-brand Ozempic called Lizzo. So
here we go.
Guys, my worst fear has been actualized. I've been referenced in a South Park episode. I'm so scared. I'm gonna blind duet to it right now. Here we go.
I was telling you, Sheila, these new drugs are pretty amazing. I was feeling so ashamed of myself, watching Randy go out and exercise all the time and not eating as much. but I just don't have the same kind of willpower he has.
Which of the drugs are you on, Sharon? Ozempic, Mounjaro?
Oh no, I talked to my doctor. He said insurance would only pay for those if I had diabetes.
But if you can't afford them, then how are you managing your weight?
Don't you know, Sheila? Now there's a whole new obesity drug for those of us who can't afford Ozempic and Mounjaro. I've controlled all my cravings to be thinner with Lizzo.
It's Lizzo. FDA-approved Lizzo makes you feel good about your weight, and it costs 90% less than Ozempic.
I've lowered my standards and my expectations.
It's Lizzo. In case studies, 70% of patients on Lizzo no longer cared how much they weighed.
I don't give two shits.
Rich people get Ozempic, poor people get body positivity.
Physical activity to a minimum. Some patients report constipation while listening to Lizzo. Stop listening to Lizzo if you experience suicidal thoughts. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis, hypothermia,
Cut the
and
fucking
literally
album!
shooting out your ears. Are you living with concerns of obesity?
Ask about the power of not giving a fuck with Lizzo.
Period. That's crazy. I just feel like, damn, I'm really that bitch. I'm really that bitch. I really showed the world how to love yourself and not give a fuck to the point where these men in Colorado know
Those
who
are
the
her
fuck I
hair
am and
beads.
put it on their cartoon that's been around for 25 years. I'm really that bitch, and I'll show y'all how to not give a fuck, and I'm gonna keep on showing you how to not give a fuck. Oh, 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 Lizzo, bitch.
Okay. We have a $20 from Bad Comedy. How far away is that camera to fit all of Lizzo's face in frame?
I mean, to be fair, her face was pretty narrow there.
I don't know how Lizzo can just learn nothing. She learned nothing from this. Why is... I'm not trying...
She's still got her lawsuits pending.
She has a good sense of humor, okay, for not freaking out and getting offended. That's good, which I wouldn't expect from her normally. But she hasn't learned anything. She thinks that not giving an F about yourself is the same thing as loving yourself.
Yeah, they're not the same thing.
Those are not the same thing.
If you loved yourself.
Not giving an F how you look isn't the same thing as self-love, Lizzo.
If you were loving yourself, you would work tirelessly to make sure that you were able to live as long as possible.
I mean, maybe not tirelessly, but I just wonder how this woman even finds the time of day to have her career and her hobbies when she's so busy eating.
And she's still got her lawsuits pending with her employees.
Yes, she does.
So
it's funny they didn't address that in South Park. That's like easy comedic material.
I mean, maybe it's in the rest of the episode. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm about 10 minutes into it. So you guys can go watch that. It's on Paramount Plus. Both of the last ones were good. So I really like the one with their version of Prime Energy drink, and then with influencers, and then also I like the Disney one. So
What was the Disney one called? The Panderverse?
The Panderverse.
I felt like that it was pandering to both anti-woke people and woke people.
I mean, that's what South Park is good at. They're good at doing that. They can speak the truth to you, but they'll speak the truth to you through Cartman, who you're not supposed to inherently support.
I don't know. I felt like it gave leeway to Kathleen Kennedy in a way she did not deserve, but I guess that's the point. It's going to make you uncomfortable no matter who you are.
Yeah. All right, guys. There's more to discuss because the Nepo babies have finally taken over, have they not?
Yes. Nepotism has gone nuclear in Hollywood, and the latest example is Northwest, starring as Simba in this stage play of The Lion King, which she did not deserve. It's my understanding that Kim Kardashian essentially bought her way into this concert at the Hollywood Bowl. And according to another parent of a child who was auditioning for the role, she even Kim paid North for her work on this play.
Yeah.
Which is like another level of coddling and helicopter parenting I didn't even think was possible.
Like paid her how?
It's a job. It's a job.
through a
So
shell
your mom is going to pay you for your job on the stage play. So let's just first look at the video.
Well, watch this clip.
Yeah.
It says nepotism has become a new kind of aristocracy in the second Gilded Age. Look, nepotism was always that. This is actually happening all over entertainment in many other sectors.
I'm just picturing Kanye in the audience looking thoroughly unamused.
Yeah. North doesn't really have the,
Give it some movement. Give us some energy.
There
Go, girl. Give us nothing.
There isn't a whole lot of urgency or excitement behind the performance.
Where's the volume?
Yeah.
The projection.
They're not projecting. She's not projecting her voice. Also, you pointed out, like, why is Simba a girl?
I mean, that's weird. That was my first question. Yeah. Why are they having girls audition to be Simba anyway, when it's going to be a 10-year-old who sounds the same regardless? But whatever. That's fine.
This is I don't know about the new Gilded Age, but this was always true. I mean, this is true in almost every industry. There's a reason why, the son of the boss gets a good job and everybody else has to start in the mailroom. It's just the facts of life.
You sent me this tweet of someone insulting the costuming, which obviously is not North's fault. But they said, I won't comment on the performance at the Lion King show because she's 10. But what the hell is she wearing? Who thought, hey, she needs to look like Simba? Pull out the yellow barrister wig. I've seen Walmart onesies that look better. But seriously, where was
it's a hoodie. It looks like it's just a hoodie.
Did she put this together herself?
I mean, that's even better if she did. Then,
you get to be in the show for no reason at all, except you have to provide your own costume.
And look, you shouldn't rip North. You should rip the adults that made this happen.
True. I mean, obviously, she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know how these things work.
This is a whole new level of like what we talk about when they race and gender swap characters, and then they drop you in front of the canon like fodder, right? That they just, oh, sure, we'll hire you because it's great press for our show, but then you're going to get all the hate. At least it seems like quite a few people understand that North's not the one you bully.
What's scary is that
in this case,
it's like Kim is turning into this reflection of her own stage mom.
Yes.
Like Chris is just the perfect reflection of Kim now because she's doing the same shit to North.
I'm not gonna lie, that outfit goes pretty hard. Like
it's not a bad outfit. Maybe Kanye designed it.
It's even better.
If he designed it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said anything.
And I'm sure that to the average theater kid, they are insulted by this. Like, look, I spent years getting bullied so that I could finally have my moment, and here you come over and you take it from me.
Yeah, let's take a look at the TikTok from the other mom.
Do we have that? I don't know if I have that.
Oh.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah.
Which one am I missing?
It's from...
Because otherwise I have the list of the other Nepo babies in Hollywood that people keep talking about.
I just sent you the link.
Here we go. Oh, yes.
She's very annoying.
Here we go.
Fair warning, she's not pleasant to listen to.
Hold on.
Play it from the beginning, too, because there's another clip of North singing, if you would call that singing.
My extremely talented and gorgeous daughter auditioned for the role of Simba in this production of The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl. We were so excited for her to get this audition. She's been on Broadway 4 times already. And
people in the chat are saying this is clearly fake.
Why is it clearly fake?
Had parts in TV film, so we felt she had the perfect experience for this role. Her agent sent her up the audition, and she made it through 4 rounds of callbacks, and the final round was with 3 girls, and my daughter was one of them.
I'm picturing and then as this happens, I'm sorry, it got pulled off, and then North just walks by all of them and just takes the role.
Hey, bitches.
Yeah.
4 times already, and has had parts in TV the audition, and she made it through 4 rounds of callbacks, and the final round was with 3 girls, and my daughter was one of them. But while we were waiting in the audition room with one other girl and her mother, someone walked in. It was Kim Kardashian with Northwest. We had heard that there was someone that was in the industry that was pulling strings to get their daughter in front of the casting director. We found out it was Northwest on that final audition.
Sucks to be you in that case. You can't even insult them because they're a kid.
True.
Man.
You can insult Kim, though.
You're stuck between a rock and a hard place here. I got a $20 from Alfred LaRock.
Mary, sorry I exposed you to Japanese vending machines. I probably learned about it from MTV 2002-ish. Have to know the evil out there to be able to avoid it. Would you guys consider joining MyNet? Mom, deaf, failed theater kid. Have you heard of Minect?
I don't know what that is.
I think it's this new platform where it's like Cameo, except people can pay you. The people can pay you for voice calls or FaceTime calls.
Oh, is that what?
Or even
Candace
text
is that
messages.
What Candace Owens is on?
Yeah. That was the one that she
people
launched.
Might pay Mary for that.
I think it was Patrick Bet-David's app, but I really don't think I would.
Yeah,
go
they're saying
an
it
app
is. They're
like
saying
that.
it's Patrick Bet-David's app. Look, Mary might make some money on there. I would have serious questions for anybody who like paid for a phone call with me.
I would have serious questions for anyone who paid for a phone call with me. I mean, I don't get it really.
I can't give you any advice that you don't already know. I don't know anything in this life. Come on,
well, that's what they would be paying for, is to hear you say, I don't fucking know.
I can do that for you for free most of the time.
I don't need any help avoiding underwear vending machines, though.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's continue.
And we were so disappointed. We had heard that they wanted to cast a talented kid with some good experience, but one that doesn't have a name, because they wanted to uplift.
Well, Northwest isn't really a name anyways, so.
She's a name.
No, I'm
She's a
saying
name.
It's not a name. North isn't a real name. They're
okay.
making that up. So, she doesn't have a name.
Yeah, I thought you meant figuratively.
Voice in the community. And we thought my daughter was that person. But Kim Kardashian allegedly paid her daughter to be in this production, and her daughter does not have the experience for this role, as you could see. It is extremely disappointed, and Mr. Hollywood, I hope you learned your lesson to not cast a Nepo baby over talent ever again.
Actually, the
Thank you.
The real psychopath here is the casting director who let the kids all come back for multiple auditions and get their hopes up, only to then cast somebody who wasn't even part of the
psycho
audition
behavior.
process.
True.
They're just like, maybe I just like. They're just like, we.
He just likes messing with people.
Torture people.
He just likes crushing dreams. I thought this was so weird. I feel like I got multiple comments, like when I first started here, saying that I got this, like they were talking to me saying Mary only got her job because of her dad rubbing shoulders with Tim Pool.
Is your dad a famous person?
No.
No.
And I was like, where are you even getting that idea from?
Yeah. But it's not just that. I was looking through this list of like what they consider the most up and coming Nepo babies. Yeah, and there's a lot of them.
Prestigious.
Yeah.
A
lot of them, it seems like they might be models that I've just never heard of.
Like Apple Martin.
Well, like Matilda Ledger, I understand that's Heath Ledger's daughter.
She's not even an adult yet, is she?
It doesn't look like it.
She was born in 2005.
So she's still young, but I don't know who that is.
They listed Gordon Ramsay's daughter.
But that's because she's kind of big on TikTok, right?
Yeah, she earned those TikTok followers. Well, I mean, totally wasn't Gordon doing that.
She did the video with her dad where she she does the magic trick and then sprays him in the face with the water bottle, and that went viral like in 2020.
Oh wow, Christian Bale's daughter is really pretty.
So she looks like she's gonna be a model.
She's a model.
I don't know who the
next one is. I never heard of most of these people.
It's Scott Disick and Kim it says,
they listed Dwayne Wade's trans child. That's cool.
So who is Apple Martin?
Apple Martin is Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter.
She does have Gwyneth Paltrow's disapproving face.
But she definitely has like a model face. I think that works.
Maya Hawke, we've spoken about Maya
Definitely
Hawke
an
before.
Nepo baby. Yep. Definitely a Nepo baby.
Kaya Gerber? Is that like the Gerber baby?
No, she's the daughter of Cindy Crawford.
Oh, and Randy Gerber?
Never heard of him, but I've heard of Cindy Crawford.
Lily Rose Depp, we have heard of course, because of The Idol, and obviously it's Johnny Depp's daughter.
Kate Moss's daughter, of course.
Yep. Maud and Iris Apatow.
I actually haven't seen them before.
Neither have I.
Wait, no, she was in Euphoria. She was one of the cast members on Euphoria that was like the most forgettable character on that show.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense.
So that was giving Nepo.
And then we get down Timothy Chalamet. Like, again,
That's crazy to call Timothy Chalamet a Nepo baby
So it
because I'd
says
never
that-
heard of his parents before.
So his parents are Nicole Flender is his mother. She was a singer, and he's the grandson of filmmaker Harold Flender. Look, that makes him, I guess, a Nepo baby. But when your own stardom has surpassed that of both your parents, you're not really a Nepo baby anymore. You're just a Nepo baby that earned it.
Importantly, though, Timothy Chalamet is a theater kid, and his mom was a Broadway actress.
Yes.
So I think she probably helped him out.
Deacon Philippi must be Ryan Phillippe's and Reese Witherspoon's kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then Willow and Jaden Smith, I was actually just thinking about this the other day because somebody brought up, they said Jaden Smith ended up doing a song with Justin Bieber. And imagine like being at a time where Will Smith's kid needed to use Justin Bieber to be legitimized.
Is that true?
It's kind of true.
When he was on the song for the Karate Kid movie?
Yeah. I mean, Justin Bieber was already a star at that
I
point.
think Jaden Smith was actually the highlight of that song. Like, he rapped pretty well for an 11-year-old.
Not really, but not in my personal opinion.
I don't think he wrote it.
Yeah.
I doubt that he wrote it himself, but
Willow and Jaden Smith, and
they have some talent. They just look really weird, especially Jaden in that photo. What the fuck's going on?
Brooklyn Beckham.
Brooklyn Beckham. I don't remember her from anywhere.
It's a guy.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's one of social media.
I've never seen.
He's the son of Victoria and David Beckham. Sistine and Sophia Stallone. Look, you leave the Stallone sisters out of this. They've got a reality show with their dad now.
Madonna's daughter. I wouldn't want to be Madonna's daughter.
No.
So she deserves it. The Stallone sisters are iconic. Billie Eilish. Okay, this is arguably not Nepo. She's the daughter of an actress and screenwriter named Maggie Baird and another actor, her father, Patrick O'Connell. I had never heard of them before.
There's a difference between a Nepo baby whose family was front-facing and a Nepo baby whose family was behind the scenes. So, like, if your dad's a screenwriter, stuff, they can get you jobs.
Well, both of them were actors.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it's very different when it's not very different.
Let me
It
see
is
if I
different
recognize them.
when the celebrity is a behind-the-scenes Hollywood worker rather than somebody in the front of the camera.
Maggie Baird. Let's see what she was in. Mass Effect 2.
Okay, so a video game voice actor.
I have not heard of any of these things. She was in Ice Age: A Mammoth Christmas.
Okay.
Days of Our Lives.
So daytime TV.
I don't know. She was in
Lenny Kloom.
She was in Bones.
Okay. What does it say?
Sandra Hicks. I don't know. I never watched that.
So a lot of these seems like the modeling route.
Yeah.
Like the majority of these seem to be
It's
the modeling
least
route.
work.
It's the least requirement to your craft, right?
Yeah.
You have to look good.
But you do
beyond
actually
that.
have to look good.
Yep. All right. Well, the point of the matter is that North probably needs to spend a little bit more time in theater class.
Or singing class or something.
Got to project that voice.
Get your mentorship from Ye and go from there.
All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
We have multiple cringes, don't we?
I think so.
Maybe we should start with cute.
Okay. All right.
First.
Well, no. If there's multiple cringes, then you got to do
Sandwich it?
Okay.
That makes sense.
We'll do the first cringe here. This one Mary sent me over. Let me see if I can go widescreen.
Okay,
here.
guys, this is from a tech conference, and
Do I have to watch all 2 minutes of this?
yes,
Okay. All right.
it's definitely worth a watch.
I saw people talking about it.
Yeah.
Canva Create, we've talked about a lot. Can we just take a minute to recap? Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. You can redesign your work. Canva got that glow up. We redesign everything from the flow up. Customize your workspace.
Just imagine you're at a Silicon Valley tech event, and this is what happens.
Sir, yes, I'm talking to all of you up there. You guys know what's happening? All right. But what about me?
Who is you?
A CIO from an enterprise, see? And I
What is the CIO?
I don't even know. These are all a bunch of tech industry terms. I'm not familiar.
have some doubts.
Security.
That's right, and I'd like to have some certainty.
Why do they look like they just broke out of jail?
With the jumpsuits.
Nice that you got some pretty shiny things, but can you meet the demands of a global machine? We got pretty high stakes, no room to air. We need more than a
Chief Information Officer. Thank you guys.
Oh, okay.
So you think Canva can't go deep, but we can That department's really our dream. More than on the surface, our service is serving team.
Wow, the
Call me intrigued,
breakdancing.
but I'm not yet sold. Security.
Said that already, it's getting old.
Logs, SIM, SSO. Can you really tell me that there's very much control?
You can even manage automated licensing, compliancy, there's privacy.
Okay, I can see, but is it likely for you to integrate all of our systems easily?
Actually, matter of fact, you see, we can integrate them all, even Slack, believe.
Okay, I'm impressed, but AI, what's the deal?
That's where it comes in the Canva shield. We don't train on your work without your permission. Safe and secure, if that is what
Secure.
API, custom solution.
Yes, the API is tailored for you, so you can chase your dreams and do what you do.
Hey, that's really great and incredible.
True.
So, did we just become friends? Bonding over how much we love Canva to the end.
You know what, bud? I think that you're fine. The future is bright with Canva Enterprise. You opened up my eyes to Canva Enterprise. Now
Whoa, okay, vocals.
Hands up from side to side.
to Canva Enterprise. Now we are on the rise, cause Canva does it all. We feel it all right. Let's go.
Oh, they even land.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It really is like 80s rap is back. You know what it is? We're in an economy that's in desperate need of jingles. There's not enough jingles.
But does it need to be a 3-minute long jingle?
A 3-minute jingle isn't necessarily the most relevant thing I've ever heard in the world. But I'm sure these people play. And the funny thing is these things are just money pits. Just hundreds of thousands of dollars were just dumped into this. Because it's Silicon Valley, so they just got the money to just dump.
Pay all the backup dancers who live in San Francisco for some reason. We got a $20 from that Stanzatastic. Can we get links for all cringe and cute of the day in the description? Asking for a friend.
Cute of the day, no. I mean, I guess I could link. They're all from my Twitter, but I have people tag me in Twitter. But cringe, I guess we could do that in the future, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm not going to link you to this because I don't want to.
You need the Canva link to rewatch it over and over. You loved it so much. This is going to be your song of the week.
Real talk, my buddy Roger, and he's absolutely fire. Is startup rap as a vibe always
startup rap? Tech startups are getting into the rap game now.
I can't even right now.
The way that as I was watching it, it just kept going, and it shocked me how long it was. People got around in a room and they workshopped
this. This he's like, you got to go there. No, you can't go there.
They did the choreography. They did the lighting. They did the backup.
They planned
vocals.
uniforms.
They did the uniforms and everything.
I mean, except for her, she literally looks like she came out of an HR office.
And they had this stylized lyric video behind them to advertise what Canva can do.
What the hell is Canva?
It's like some graphic design thing. Here's the problem, though. You watched the whole Canva rap and you didn't learn a single thing about what Canva does.
It's for the initiated only. It's for people who already understand what Canva is. Okay. All right, guys.
Coders with attitude.
Yes. Okay. All right. Cute of the day. We'll do a couple of cute of the day. First from Terrence Rice here. Stray kitten that I almost took home over Christmas break. My cousin also fell in love with her, so she kept her. That
so
is
skinny.
It's a very skinny kitty. Hopefully it is fattened up since then.
She looks like burnt toast. I love it.
Love it. Let's do one more here. That was very cute. Thank you, Terrence. This one's from Rachel O'Connell. Tommy loves belly rubs.
I feel like we saw this one on.
Did we see this one already?
Friday.
Sometimes I said.
But maybe I'm wrong.
I've had multiple from Rachel here. Those eyes are piercing.
I've never seen a cat accept belly rubs this much.
They usually
lash out at you.
Neither Chloe nor Mocha like belly rubs.
This one's a keeper.
All right, let's do one more here since we don't know if we saw the one. Bryant Vick, Odin and Zion, brothers from another mother.
They're tall.
They're very tall. Or it's just the photo.
Cute.
It's very cute. So those are adorable. So we've got some cute in now. Now back to cringe.
Time to end the cringe sandwich.
I swear my cringe isn't nearly as bad. It's just kind of scary. So imagine that it was your wedding day and then a furry was just taking photos of your wedding from afar. It's both cringe and
this
terrifying.
isn't their hired photographer?
No. I mean, I have no idea, but I'm just showing you the video. I'm muting this because we're going to get copyrighted for the song.
When your bestie is walking down the aisle and you realize...
What do you realize? First of all, the wind is working against him.
That cow on the other side of the lake is in fact not a cow, but a furry just hanging out in the field that just happens to be right behind the altar where they're taking photos. What?
Yep.
What?
Wait for the close-up.
Who then walks closer and starts playing paparazzi? What?
That's, you know, they're furries. They're everywhere. It's terrifying.
I was really hoping it was like a planned thing. They're friends with the furry. Maybe they're doing a furry wedding and that was like part of it.
I suppose we live in an age now where millennials want to be ironic enough that they could do something like that.
I am certain there have been furry weddings.
What woman would want to, like, knowingly, if she wasn't a furry, would want to knowingly ruin her wedding with something like that?
You're right. You make a good point.
I feel like if she cared enough about furrydom,
she would be married in her fursuit.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Like, you don't go half-ass on your wedding furry.
That's actually so creepy.
Yep.
Call the cops.
Yeah.
It's a crime to be a furry.
All right, guys. Now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and move on. It's time to get started then, now that we are only 48 minutes into the show. Let's talk about just why the hell Furiosa bombed at the box office and why the hell everyone was talking about it.
Yep. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, yes, that is the title, flopped tremendously over Memorial Day weekend, and their opening was only $31 million domestically. On a production budget of $168 million, that's not even including the marketing budget. And it would be one of the worst Memorial Day weekend openings in nearly 3 decades.
I love the example that they gave that in 1995, Casper opened to worse. Why the hell was Casper opening on Memorial Day weekend and not over Halloween?
That is bizarre. But it was the 90s.
Yeah, we were crazy.
It was the 90s.
But not just that. That's
you could get away with a lot.
Look, money that meant a lot more tickets sold in 1995 to make this much
If you
money.
adjust for inflation, then it might be a bigger record of flopping than you even think it is.
And by the way, I think they rounded it up to 32 million.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
So that it could beat Garfield.
Great.
Yeah.
So Garfield may have mogged Furiosa. Furiosa was the worst performing film for Memorial Day in 30 years. It needs over $500 million just to break even after marketing. Despite great reviews, it made just $31 million and barely beat a Garfield movie nobody knew about. I knew about the Garfield movie.
And that was it.
That's me.
Literally
I'm the only person.
And people that don't like Chris Pratt
So
knew
the
about
theories,
the
the theories about why Furiosa failed or could fail, I guess, were flying.
So
and
every single Twitter discussion was some variety of the same topics. It's ticket prices, it's female action stars, it's the streaming window. It's coming straight from the theaters to pay VOD too quickly. Is Mad Max relevant in 2024, given that the first one came out in 1979? All fair points.
Well, it's also a Mad Max movie without
Mad
Max in it.
Correct.
So the Quartering tweeted, "People are sick of female protagonists," and this rustled a lot of feathers. A lot of people disagreed with him, including Lauren Southern, and they got into a bit of a back and forth.
I was like, why is Lauren, maybe I just don't follow Lauren Southern, but I just didn't imagine Lauren Southern talking about something like this.
She seems to pay some attention to pop culture. So she said, "No one is sick of female protagonists. They're sick of poorly written movies." So would you agree with that take? Or are people legitimately sick of female protagonists?
Here's my take on it. It's that when it's done right, people don't care. But it's been done wrong so many times, and people no longer give them the benefit of the doubt to go and see. Mm-hmm. We thought Fall Guy was fantastic. Nobody gave it the benefit of the doubt to go and see. I didn't think Furiosa was the greatest movie ever, but it certainly wasn't awful. But
yeah,
nobody went and saw it because nobody's giving it the benefit of the doubt anymore.
And on top of that,
you have to work. You have to work to prove now that it's not identity first. So basically, I have the same thought when I watch TV. Right? I give it 3 strikes, you're out. If I hear a certain amount of buzzwords in the first episode, I'm out, and it has to happen there.
I'm not even worried about wokeness. I think it's really just quality and the writing is shit. And I don't think I'm not worried about movies being woke these days. I'm worried about them being bad.
Yeah.
That's a way bigger problem, is that they're not putting enough effort in. And
people keep
drawing... Fall Guy was great. Furiosa was serviceable at best. I mean, it was fine. It was cringe. Like, some of the dialogue was cringe, but it was fine.
There's also...
And now, like, people aren't even giving a chance to the new John Krasinski movie that's for kids called If. That's, like, starring Ryan Reynolds, who's supposedly a movie star. Nobody's watching that. Nobody cares because it's not a recognizable name. But now, even with a recognizable name in the title, a Mad Max saga, still no one is coming out to see it. And it just leaves everyone kind of asking questions or having half-baked theories as to why people don't want to go to the movies anymore.
There's also a fundamental difference between a movie for women with a female lead and an action movie with a female lead. So the example that other people were bringing up was Barbie and how much money Barbie made. Yes, a movie for girls starring a girl made a bunch of money because when we went to the theater, it was chock full of groups of women together who went all dressed up in pink and talked about how excited they were to see this movie. When you go to see a movie about a female protagonist in a predominantly male genre, that used to be a cause for excitement because it was against the norm. You've subverted expectations so many times that that's not the norm anymore, or not that that's the norm now. It's no longer unique. So when you go and do that, you have to work to prove that it's a good script. You can't just send people in there and expect people to come out happy. You have to actually work.
Well, if they wanted to go with a male protagonist other than Max, would they have made a movie about Dementis? Would they have made a movie about Joe?
Look,
I don't know.
Mad Max it doesn't have the cachet that, like, the 2015 one didn't make that much money relative to its budget.
It was a good movie.
It was a great movie, but that doesn't mean that it made a whole ton of money. It took 8 years to get it out. Came out in 9 years to get it out. It came out in 2015. And when you and look, I always make the example. I say, look, prequels to me are a hard sell anyways. They always are. You don't need to explain everything away. So one of the examples people gave to the contrary was Wonka made good money this year or last year. And it was considered technically a prequel, but it's not even really a prequel. It's almost like they're starting from scratch.
I mean, look, the Barbie movie was basically a prequel to Barbie. It was just I'm getting tired of retreading old territory.
I did enjoy what Matt Kadish was saying, which is like, look, stop putting the movies on streaming 3 weeks after they come out. Like that, which is what they did with
How long should it be then?
Okay, so this is what he said. He goes, if studios just rewound their business model to pre-COVID era, had a 6-month window between theatrical and home video, embraced physical media, and licensed their content to Netflix and Amazon for streaming without running their own streaming services, they'd be profitable again. That's the problem. Everyone's aiming for self-sufficiency in a market that doesn't necessarily need that many people, right? Like... It just doesn't. So beyond that, the fact that movies come out right after, look, I saw people still blaming COVID for this.
I didn't, but that's crazy.
There was people still blaming COVID for this. That is still a thing.
I mean, it's a legitimate reason that people don't go to theaters anymore. You know, if you know that it's going to be on streaming eventually, why the heck would you spend that amount of money to see it on a bigger screen?
There's also this little chestnut that you have to remember.
They
hate you. The people in Hollywood hate you. They do. For the most part, they hate you. We go see these movies and review them, and I'm very good at separating art from artist. But the average person who does not know nor care isn't going to want to read stuff about how it's the audience's fault that this stuff keeps happening. This is Chase Mitchell, who's a writer for the Jimmy Fallon show. Says, I think it's time to accept that a large part of the movie-going public sucks,
Yes.
Yes.
Is he, so is he saying that because...
He was talking about Kingdom and the Planet of the Apes.
Because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes performed better than something else that he liked?
Because it just didn't, it fell to 4th place already and it's not doing that well.
Oh, because he loved the Planet of the Apes movie so much that he thought it deserved better.
A lot of people were putting okay, so this was another one. So I found this one too. I was fascinated by how many people took the let's go back and blame the audience routine. You are beholden to the audience. They are essentially your master, and it is your job to please them if you actually want to make any money. This is what it says. Judging by the huge amount of best thing ever comes out, makes zero money stories I've witnessed in the last 20 years, I think it's fair to say that the point is that general audiences just suck this time. Again, they're blaming literally everyone but themselves. It is your job to get the public's interest. It is your job to write stories that are compelling and then work with an advertising team that knows how to best convey that through trailers. Your job, not their job.
Sure, coming from the perspective of the people making these movies, that's obviously a terrible excuse. But I will grant that, you know, when I see The Fall Guy does so badly in the box office compared to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which in my opinion is just objectively bad, it's disheartening, and it does feel like it is kind of the audience's fault for not taking a chance on original content when they constantly say, I want original content. That is their fault. If you're asking and complaining about recycled crap all the time and then you don't watch the things that aren't recycled crap, that is your fault.
It's still
You're voting
their
with your
job
dollar.
it's still their job to influence you somehow, right? So whether it's they didn't spend enough money on marketing, whether the trailers cut together weren't interesting enough to people. And look, none of this calls into question one of the other things, which is just the economy. The economy kind of sucks. I also saw some people saying that it's not the movie tickets' fault, it's the concessions' fault, because movie tickets are expensive, but they're not that expensive. Well, guess what? It's still your job to convince the audience that it is worth their time and money to go out and spend $20 on tickets, $20 per ticket,
or
and
$6,
and
whatever
then
it is.
a gazillion dollars on food, or at least make them feel like your movie is worth sneaking some food in.
Yeah, that's also a valid point. I mean, it depends on where you live, obviously, but you can't just deny that the prices of movie tickets have gone up.
Yeah.
And you can't just deny that, like, people are more willing to sit at home on the couch and watch something that they've already seen 10 times than go see something new for the first time, because it makes you have a midlife crisis to waste 2 hours on something that you hate.
I find that most of the time, just the theater experience makes it worth it for me. Like, just the act of getting, it keeps me off my phone for 2.5 hours, which is always beneficial. There's a $20 one there.
Pop Culture Junkie. Another reason, the better theater systems, home Dolby Atmos, laser projectors, and 85-inch TVs. Yeah. That's stuff that people didn't really have access to in the 90s or
and the ability to
2000s.
pause.
And
Look,
yeah.
in visiting the theater used to be a community experience that everybody could do on the weekends when there was less options to do. But it is your job as an industry leader to find a way to make a product that makes those other options less interesting. So in the age of YouTube, in the age of TikTok, you have to find a way to drag the youths into the theaters and get them there. It worked for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, I guess they think the answer is to put YouTubers in the movies.
Yeah,
which also is kind of
look. They did
misguided.
that. They did that in Free Guy. They put a bunch of YouTubers.
They put
in
Matt
Free Guy.
Pat in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but he was in there for like 5 seconds, and that's not the reason the movie did well. Yeah. Another take said Fall Guy was marketed poorly and was never going to make money. How did you think that Fall Guy was marketed poorly? Is there not an obvious way to market it?
I don't know how you market that movie. Like,
because it's a balance between rom-com and action. You're not sure how to sell it to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's why subgenres are sometimes a hard sell.
I don't know.
It splits the audience.
And that Furiosa was a prequel to a borderline flop, which was Fury Road.
I read this also the other day. The 2024 box office is $700 million behind the 2023 box office. A large amount of that being Super Mario Brothers at this point. right? So they need $1 billion win and fast.
I mean, back to the theory that the problem is a female protagonist. You're right that it's not the female protagonist part, it's the genre that you're putting a female protagonist in.
Absolutely. I say this all
a male-dominated genre. Okay, it's the same thing for a Marvel movie, for instance, but it's an action movie and you are trying to make women like it, but women are never going to like action movies as much as men. That's just a fact. And women are not going to be going to the theaters dressed up as Furiosa with shaved heads and war paint on their foreheads. Correct. It's not going to happen.
I kind of think of it as like, I call it like reality buy-in. So you're watching a war-torn land with a bunch of warlords and crazy people. It's a natural fit for a male protagonist. It just is. Just like when you watch a cop show, sure, there are plenty of female cops and female detectives in the world, but inherently, it's an industry dominated by men, so it's easier to get people to buy into a man doing that role.
Sure.
Right? So if you're going to take a female protagonist, back in the day, it was enough to just make them hot and make the movie crazy and let the sex appeal and the action speak for itself. Well, we don't live in the age of sex appeal and action sequences anymore because you're not allowed to have sex appeal anymore. Now it has to be identity politics in action sequences. I was talking about this because I'm watching this show called Almost Paradise, and there's like a female detective in the show whose kind of job it is to play like straight man to the main character in it, and she's kind of standoffish in a lot of scenes, but they allow her, at least at the end of the pilot episode and in subsequent episodes, to have moments of actual honesty that feel real. When you're doing that in an action movie, like there are moments of that in Furiosa. Here's the problem. There's been too many examples of them not getting it right that nobody's going to risk spending $150 to see if you can give it the old college try and succeed.
And they probably can't articulate it as well as you just did, why they don't like new movies. Okay, they're just like, this isn't good.
And I'll give you an example of how the show I was talking about failed recently. There was an episode, like episode 6, dealing with this female character's backstory. The character's name's Eve or Eva. And she's acting completely differently. She's being really rude to the main character, which most of the time they have like a back and forth banter, but it's not actual rudeness. And she ends up being wrong the whole episode. And at the end, she doesn't apologize. Any year prior to 2016, I feel like that character apologizes and there's an actual moment of humanity between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Instead, she stays stoic and the main character sure gets to be right, but she doesn't get humbled. And both men and women understand that it's important to show humility when you're wrong. But in a genre where you're not technically usually the main character, it speaks to her femininity to be willing to admit when she's wrong.
Sure.
Probably more than men would.
Or to appear angry all day and then burst into tears.
So when you see this in movies, yes, thank you, Kai, not whatever I said. But the point is that in movies now, it's why people complain about the writing, right? They say that they're just men. Well, that's hard to articulate. But the point is that a female character that actually has a lot of feminine traits will ring true to the audience the way a male character with masculine traits, which is what they're trying to appear, these female characters to appear as, feels natural. It doesn't feel natural when the roles swap. It's okay for Dementis to be kind of bitchy and whiny because he's a villain. Right? That's his job, to be a villain and to be annoying. But a male protagonist shouldn't be that way. And a female protagonist should carry some inherently female characteristics. And then this is not my critique of Furiosa. I honestly don't remember it well enough to remember. I think for the most part, she did really, really well, and her interactions with the other guy were good.
Sure.
But audiences are done. And they're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They're just not.
Doing it right one time isn't going to fix doing it wrong 1,000 times.
It's going to take years before that happens. And that's never, let's face it, it only moves one direction.
Sure.
We're never going back to that.
The character of Furiosa, worked in Fury Road because she doesn't have a backstory, and you don't need to know how she lost her arm, and you don't need to know why she is such a bitch, and you don't really need to give that character a full backstory anyway. So this movie was never necessary.
It wasn't.
No prequel really is.
I really want to write some type of essay on what I mean when I say that. What about you don't know why, but you know. You can't put it to words, but you understand inherently when you see characters acting a certain way. It could be something as simple as nobody likes bitchy characters, but like whiny male characters, as annoying as they are, do get more leeway if they're in the action genre because they know society won't give them leeway. Mm-hmm. When women characters are bitchy, they know society will give them leeway, and that's a turnoff to audiences. People don't like it when people don't act strong. Mm-hmm. Right? And when female characters are overly strong but whiny, that doesn't make any sense. You're right. It's a contradiction in terms. It's very hard to put to words, but every single person who is watching this show right now has at least watched 1 or 2 movies where they know what I'm talking about. They don't know why it's wrong, but it's wrong.
Yeah. Let's go to Super Chats. Andrew Jacobs said, congrats, Tim, on interviewing Trump before Rogan did. Well, Rogan was never going to do it. He said he outright refused.
Yeah, I think Rogan said that he didn't want to. Like, he wasn't going to platform.
Or maybe that was just a cope.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry we couldn't have Trump on PCC today.
Wouldn't that be great?
Shane H. Wilder said, happy Taco Tuesday, Brett and Mary. Brett, we give you 1 3-day weekend and you break your pinky. At least you can drink tea properly now. Okay,
that would have happened. That would have happened, to be fair, guys. It would have happened on a 2-day weekend, too, because it happened on Sunday.
I hurt my pinky once slamming it into my own car door. Like, it wasn't even someone else's fault. I just had to be angry at myself.
One of the okay, and that's always did the door like slam and then like shoot back?
And it
open?
was locked.
There was a time where like I had somebody shut like a sliding door on my hand and it latched shut. And I look at him through the window and he looks at me and he freezes because he's freaking out. And I'm like, open the freaking door. Here, I can show people if people wanted to see, since somebody had to at least bring it up in the Super Chats.
Oh no, you're going to show them the fucked up
I'll show them because the photo of me when I was getting it.
It's not bloody or anything.
No, it's not. Oh,
but that's almost worse. It's like when you watch the videos from the Olympics where their leg just goes the wrong way.
Okay. Here we go. I'll put it here. And
why are you smiling in the photo?
I'll do this one first, and then we can.
Ew!
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Also, people were erroneously saying that my socks needed to be cleaned. Those are shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Those are not socks.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then
I thought that was obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. Took some.
Why are you so happy about it?
I'm not happy. Yeah, it's a picture.
Thank you. Big Dave sent 99 cents without a message. Thank
you.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, Mary totally did not pistol whip Brett.
I mean, Mary's the one who looks like she could have gotten.
That's the story behind it, though. Yeah. Brett was the one who was shooting to my left, and I pistol whipped him because he sent the hot brass my way.
Somebody says it's the morphine. My friend, they do not give you painkillers for that stuff. And as somebody in recovery, I have to refuse all of that stuff anyways, even if it does happen.
Shane H. Wilder said, sorry you got hurt, Mary. Thank you.
That was a bummer to have that happen, but it's not going to deter you from going back.
And I was like, the money maker too?
The face?
The money maker?
Anywhere, like I got shoulders, I got arms.
All this skin, and you had to burn my face off.
Let's do one more.
Sweet Baby Inc. MTL said, we are Team Garfield. Why mothers tell their kids that get bullied to not fight back, but they love and are attracted by men who can protect and fight? What?
I'm okay. We are a team.
No, we
are Team Garfield.
Oh, we got a $20 before we
move on.
Respond to that. Francisco Sanchez Jr. The filmmaker doesn't owe me the movie I may want to see. I'm not obligated to watch a movie the filmmaker wants to create. Took me years to realize that, but filmmakers probably don't like the second part of my statement.
Look, yeah, and here's the other thing that I wanted to draw into. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save that commentary for the Disney stuff. So, but you Francisco, you are 110% right. All right, let's go ahead and move on. It's time to talk about how the Little Mermaid director has got some choice words for Disney. Also, this is the Variety article is a little bit clickbait, but not entirely.
I didn't think it was clickbait. So the director of the original Little Mermaid, so the good Little Mermaid, recently spoke out and slammed Disney for their political messaging. He gave them some advice, some sage advice, that they need to course correct away from political messaging in their movies. And I think it's only fair to say that when you've really been in the position of the creator of one of these movies, and you're the reason for a lot of Disney's success, this guy has he has a leg to stand on when it comes to telling Disney what to do.
Yeah.
So he was doing this interview at some summit for animators in Spain, and I'm just going to read out what he had to say to Disney. I think they need to do a course correction a bit in terms of putting the message secondary, behind entertainment and compelling story and engaging characters. The classic Disney films didn't start out trying to have a message. They wanted you to get involved in the characters and the story and the world, and I think that's still the heart of it. You don't have to exclude agendas, but you have to first create characters who you sympathize with and who are compelling.
I think
you do need to exclude agendas, though.
I mean, you could look at any old Disney movie or really any movie, and somebody could logic their way into saying that this was the point of the movie.
Sometimes in like a movie from the 90s, it will communicate the spirit of the time, but that's in no way what the storytellers were consciously adding to it.
No.
Out of like going out of their way and like going against the grain to insert certain messages. Like if you're just, I mean, I'm sure there's messaging in the classic Disney princess films, but it's not like they were totally conscious of the fact that they were doing that, because it was just the spirit of the time in which it was made.
Or the heavy dialogue that referenced it is edited out and not left
Sure.
in. Like that's one of the big things that I seem to feel like is a huge problem, is like there isn't like hardcore editors who are out there like, does this piece of dialogue need to be there? There isn't a producer who is conscious of the general audience nature of it, meaning that you're speaking to everyone, not just a small group of people, and saying like, does this line of dialogue feel out of place? It's like when Nicole Kidman mentioned greenhouse gases in Aquaman. Okay, like, sure, it's relevant to the story. Does it need to be there? Or does it drag you out of the storyline entirely?
It should be mentioned, by the way, that this guy also co-directed the Disney Princess and the Frog movie, which was met with mixed reception over the depiction of Disney's first black Disney princess. I don't remember there being mixed reception over there being a black Disney princess, really, but I'll take their word for it. It was 2009, so I think we had gotten well over our racial tensions in the country.
We were kind of at a high point.
In 2009?
In 2009.
Okay, so here's what he said about that. We weren't trying to be woke, although I understand the criticism. And he says the animated, like he says that his opinion is the animated movies don't need live action remakes. Companies are always like, how do we reduce our risk? They like this thing, right? We'll just do it again and sell it to them in a different form. Or they think, well, we could make it better. And that's why he didn't like the live action The Little Mermaid. Not because they chose a black actress, but that's the way that they're going to spin it anyway.
So one of the tweets that I saw talking about this that says, what political messaging, black people existing isn't political message, black people isn't, they wrote this horribly. Let me try again. What political messaging? Black people existing isn't political messaging. It's just a thing people are. That's not the point they're making here, though. The point is that when you take a traditionally white character that has a predetermined history, it's already existed for half a century, and you change it, that is messaging, whether you like it or not. They also go through the old number where they say, can you define the term woke? When people say that, much like what I was talking about with action movies and women, I say, you know it when you see it.
Exactly, yes. I think it should be pointed out, though.
It's going to be different to everyone. So you know it when you see it. It's going to be different to everyone. When it reaches critical mass and the majority think they saw it there, that's when you can officially define it that way. Different people have different criteria for what they label as woke.
Yeah.
Right? That's absolutely true. But when everyone unanimously agrees, that's when you can confidently give it that label. But the ambiguous nature of the term is both a deflection from the people who support it and a problem for the people who don't, because it's very hard to have a fair debate about this when no one can settle on a term for it. What is Tim's definition? He says the rigid adherence to progressive orthodoxy, where progressive story comes before the all else. When you're telling when you're making a movie,
there was nothing woke about the storytelling in the live action Little Mermaid.
No. I mean, what wasn't there? Like they took away some of the prince's achievements.
Barely. I mean, that's like very difficult to argue for that because it's very subtle.
Or let's go with
look. It should be pointed out. The Little Mermaid going from a white woman with red hair to a black woman with red dreadlocks is a message.
Yes.
It's a message in and of itself. And if you deny that, you're being disingenuous. That's just true.
And the example could go back to Furiosa. Look, Furiosa, I didn't see anything like that inherently in the story other than the choice to take a story that would generally feature a male lead and feature a female. That doesn't make the rest of the storytelling inherently progressive or woke, though I'd say that it has progressive elements to it.
So the director specifically criticized the 2023 live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, saying they didn't play up the father-daughter story, and that was the heart of the movie in a way. And the crab, you could look at live animals in a zoo, and they have more expression, like with The Lion King. That's one of the basic things about Disney is the appeal. That's what animation does best. He's definitely right about The Lion King because that looked like a nature documentary.
I'm going to draw you back to another example from the show that I'm watching. If you want another example of how storytelling would have been different 20 years ago. So they're in the episode that I was talking about in a previous segment about how she basically won't admit that she's wrong and she makes all of these mistakes. She gets herself into trouble. And then basically she gets out, like she gets framed by this other cop. And then she basically beats the crap out of the cop and arrests him, even though he had the drop on her. But the other character is like racing against time to get to her. In an old version of that story, he would have had to at least save her before she got, because she let her pride get the better of her. Right? That's, in my opinion, that would be what I would consider woke storytelling, meaning that they let their desire to let the woman get the last laugh come before the story.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
you could have done the story the complete opposite way, where the guy is the one who's getting framed and won't admit he's wrong. They would always let the woman come and save the day now.
Yeah.
In that situation. They will not allow the reverse to happen.
But because there's no one-to-one comparison, you're kind of just doing the Always Sunny meme where you're just connecting a bunch of yarn pieces on a cork board, and you look crazy for pointing out how that story would have been written differently
20 years ago.
And then they're like,
I would love to have
really? That's woke.
I would love to have a channel where I just get to go through and point out everything that could be better on stuff that not even.
But what they're always going to say is like, if you think you could do it better, make it yourself. And I think that's not a good comeback, actually. I really don't think that's a valid
If they're making a ton of money,
comeback.
Then sure.
Because, saying that you dislike a piece of art doesn't mean you're claiming you could do it better.
Correct.
I'm just saying. And it should be noted that this guy directed the better version of everything they're remaking right now. And unfortunately, every problem that he just pointed out in Disney's business, every problem that he just called out Disney for, it's too late to find a solution. It's over for them.
I mean, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt anymore.
They're just going to dig in their heels at this point. He has pointed it out about 10 years too late. I think maybe even more. So yeah, it's good to see them called out. But
again,
overall, nothing is going to change.
So I want to go through some of these because I thought it's really funny because when you go through comments like this, it's always like this weird form of like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean?
What message?
I don't know if that's I don't know if you consider that gaslighting, but somebody says, She is obviously wrong. There have been successes with it. I mean, I don't know what Disney has been successful with recently other than Guardians of the Galaxies. There was another one that I thought was really funny that said Disney was fine. They had the top 3. They had the most movies at the box office in the top 10 last year. That is not true. They tied for number 1 with Universal, who also had 3. So Disney had 3 in the top 10. Universal had 3 in the top 10. Warner Brother had 2. Paramount had 1, and Sony had 1. Here's the thing, though. Disney spent $1 gazillion on all of those movies. So none of that matters. Like, it does not matter if they had 3 top 10 movies. They own like 7 companies, okay?
Top 10 movies.
So one of them was a Pixar, one of 2023. One of them was a Pixar movie.
Right.
One of them was a Marvel movie. One of them was a Disney movie, okay? Guardians of the Galaxy made a little bit of money. The Little Mermaid lost money. The other one was not Inside Out 2. What was that's the one coming out this year. I forget what it was, but it was an animated movie. Look,
I mean, maybe it's just gotten to the point where, you know, Amazon is going to fully replace shopping malls and streaming is going to fully replace movie theaters. Yeah. And that's just a sign of the times. And we haven't gotten to the conclusion yet. Maybe it's just fully obsolete.
Disney as a brand?
Disney as a brand, but also like movie theater, like movies made for the theaters in general.
Yeah.
Maybe it's over. Like maybe that time in history is over.
There's
a $20 from Patrick McNeely. I used to want another modern Herbie the Love Bug movie, but Disney keeps dropping the ball on their live action stuff. The modern Little Mermaid makes Fully Loaded look good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
There's very little that's coming out these days that I actually... Yeah, it might have been Elemental. Thank you. Elemental was the number 10 movie. Look, there's very little that's coming out these days. My first instinct is always pessimism with most of things. I'm actually getting mildly, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit excited to see Deadpool plus Wolverine just because... Why not? I guess. Fine. Whatever. But it's not the excitement that I had when Deadpool 1 came out. Mm-hmm, it's just not. So
should we just move on to the next topic since we're on... we're kind of in that vein already.
Yeah, let's go
for
it.
So Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, recently did an interview with the New York Times in which he claimed that both Barbie and Oppenheimer from last year, the 2 biggest movies from last year, he says they would have just been as big on Netflix instead of in theaters. He said, quote, "There's no reason to believe that the movie itself is better in any size of screen for all people. My son's an editor. He watched Lawrence of Arabia on his phone."
Chris Nolan is literally shaking.
I saw someone comment,
now.
"Tell that to Christopher Nolan's face and you're not making it out alive."
No, you absolutely will not. Look, this actually kind of disproves your point, right? Which is that at the end of the day, there's that phrase again, the box office matters because neither of those movies has the cultural relevance without a theater release. If all it is like, ooh, Oppenheimer and Barbie, they're both coming out on the same day, one on Netflix and one on Amazon Prime, nobody's going to care.
But that wouldn't have happened in 2002 without meme culture. You needed both the internet and the movie theaters for that to happen.
Correct. It's a symbiotic relationship.
So that cultural moment would have happened without people on the internet doing the marketing for them, essentially.
They even tried
in the middle of a strike.
They're trying to basically manufacture that same interest. They called it Furiosa. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you.
Just
right
immediately
now.
No.
Just no. Like everyone can tell when it's fake. Everyone can tell when it's not honest. And there's nothing real about Furiosa.
Also, I just feel like if you're the CEO of Netflix, you kind of have to say that streaming is just as good. Mm. You really don't have a choice.
Look, everything about streaming screams straight to DVD.
Well, someone, immediately, like I saw Yellow Flash commented, streaming-only movies have direct-to-DVD feel. Another one said that is not true in the slightest. Grown men dressed in pink to go see Barbie in theaters, they wouldn't do that at home.
Mm-hmm. Look, what's an example of a movie that was a streaming release that we actually liked? That was a streaming-only release. I liked Samaritan a little bit.
We really haven't reviewed that many that are straight to streaming.
But if anybody in the chat can remember, maybe that's the point. The point is I can't remember any of them.
Yeah, I mean, they put out this stupid AI movie called Atlas.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Extraction. Extraction and Extraction 2 are both exceptionally good movies. They would have been better as theater releases.
Gray Man was awful.
Yeah, awful.
Awful. And Ryan Gosling in that makes no sense. It was insane that I forgot that, but yeah.
I wonder who they could have gotten in instead of him.
And like that's the only selling point they had for that movie. But also Ted Sarandos had comments on AI in this interview. He said, AI is not going to take your job. The person who uses AI might take your job. Writers, directors, editors will use AI as a tool to do their jobs better and to do things more efficiently and more effectively. Yeah. And it's just funny that he brings this up at the very same time that this stupid AI movie came out with Jennifer Lopez from Netflix. And this is their take on the dangers of AI. AI robots that have to tell you their pronouns.
Oh, okay then. Wait, how did it know I wanted coffee? I'm sorry, but my pronouns are she and her, not it.
I hate it here.
Like that's actually in a movie about AI made by Netflix.
I hate it.
Like I am lost for words. I don't understand what they were thinking with this. Oh. I can see why nobody cares about streaming movies because this is the kind of shit they put in them. Well, it's just slop.
In the marketing budget in the marketing for big budget films feels more real to me. Like, I don't know how Netflix advertises their movies, but for the most part, it seems to be done internally. Like, I'll see ads for Netflix things. Like when Fubar was coming out, the Arnie show that was on Netflix. I saw ads for that all over IMDb. Well, guess what? Most people aren't trolling IMDb on a regular basis like I am. I didn't see the ads anywhere else.
Tell me how a movie made for streaming makes money.
It doesn't. All it does is increase their portfolio.
Because all I remember from the 2000s as a kid is like watching made-for-TV movies that actually did make money.
Because of advertising.
For companies like Disney. Because of advertising and DVDs. We bought those DVDs.
Yeah.
Like, we really did that. And that time is over. I also saw that Jennifer Lopez was doing some press for Atlas, and she has her own thoughts on AI.
It's scary.
She says AI has been really scary. Ads are selling skincare I know nothing about. She said, I think this movie does a good job of showing how AI can go incredibly wrong, and this is how it could go really right. She said she has herself experienced the exploitative side of AI, with ads selling skincare using manipulated photos of her face covered in wrinkles.
Yeah.
It's really scary. Right away, we had them stealing our faces. So yes, AI is really scary.
I suppose, for a celebrity, that's a unique position to be in where she's like, look, I'm not that wrinkly. I worked very hard to not be that wrinkly.
She said, I think you should be respectful of AI. We have to be open to all possibilities. These movies that are talking about AI, especially this one, do a really good job of showing both sides. And also recently, I think George Lucas was asked to talk about it. And he's like fully pro AI. And everyone just gets really pressed about it in the comments, not knowing exactly what AI is.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows what it is.
And really, they just manipulated an image of her in Photoshop.
That could have been done well before AI anyway.
That didn't require anything like AI to do that. It's just becoming a catch-all term for things in this world. I disagree with Ted Sarandos. Watching a movie on a big screen matters. And watching it on your phone,
well, more importantly, seeing it around other people matters.
Furiosa is better watched, just like Fury Road is better watched on the biggest screen you can find, not on your phone.
So be honest, since you're like typically antisocial, if you had a home theater, and you could get early screenings whenever you wanted of any of these movies that are just coming out. You would want to see it around other people, or you would want to see it alone?
I would no. My self-control dictates I have to go to the theater so that I'm not on my phone the whole time.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yes.
Out of just courtesy and etiquette, you
Correct.
would be
The
forced to focus.
The social implications of sitting there on my phone are too great. So
Okay.
going to the theater is the best option
That's
for me
fair.
to make sure that I pay as close attention as possible. Also, just like, it is. I want the experience of being around other people so you can gauge how people thought about the movie. Were people oohing and eyeing at the action scenes? Were people crying at something emotional?
Or laughing at the least funny jokes?
You can't. Well, we all know you need to be there to make fun of the people who laugh at the.
When I hear people laughing at Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's gonna make you so mad.
Anyway, Ted Sarandos, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're confidently wrong.
Do you think that there's a time? Look, I don't think that there's going to be a time where theaters are ever completely out. Like right now, they're playing old movies at a lot of these theaters.
Yep.
And that's going to keep happening.
But that's because of the strike, isn't it?
Yes, because there's a lot of movies that got pushed on the back burner because of the strike in 2023. But I don't think that the theater going experience ever goes away completely. Like people still like. There's a vast difference. This isn't a great one-to-one comparison. Going to a baseball game is a vastly different experience than watching a baseball game on TV.
Yeah.
Right? Going to a theater is a vastly different experience from going at home. And to the theater's credit, they've done everything to make the experience more enjoyable, meaning better seats. They've
It
changed.
used to suck, so they didn't need to incentivize you to be there.
Yeah. Now they know that it's not that easy anymore. They have to make different food. They have to offer seats that recline. You have to, the theaters, the studios understand that you have to offer things like 4DX and 3D and IMAX and all of these
Popcorn
other
buckets
and weird fleshlight popcorn buckets and all those things. So Ted Sarandos, you've cornered a market, but I don't think that, I think it's absolutely ridiculous to believe that either Barbie or Oppenheimer would have had anywhere near the cultural relevance it had if they had released it on streaming. It's just ridiculous.
Exactly.
All right.
Corey Anderson said, same happened to me last week. We were quailing the M4 and M18, and 2 consecutive casings go right down the back of my shirt. Is quailing like you're actually hunting quail? I could be totally wrong about that. But yeah, they tell you it's not that hot, and it actually is. It actually is. Shane H. Wilder said Furiosa, more like Puriosa.
That's
a Garfield saga.
That's what they should have called it. Puriosa.
Amazing. Not that Jon Stewart said, damn it, Shane. You said it for me.
There you go.
Shane H. Wilder, you're welcome. Not that Jon Stewart.
Let's do 2 more.
Salute. T-Dog, I can't wait for Critical Drinker's production hell of Blade and live-action Snow White. Do you think he's going soft on his more recent reviews?
I haven't watched as many of his recent reviews lately. Maybe I'll go through and watch some of them. Look, I avoid a lot of reviews now because I don't want it coloring my view of the movies. So I always check out Jeremy John's reviews, but that's the only one that I die hard keep watching. But I'll go check out more of Drinker's reviews recently.
Surenko Productions said, pretty sure this Reagan movie has been in production for like 10 years. LOL. David Henry from Wizards of Waverly Place plays young Ronald Reagan.
It's a long time.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't see him on the list of the cast members.
I mean, that might not have been
there?
the whole cast.
That's crazy because I just saw that David Henry got back with Disney for that reboot that they're doing.
All right. Let's hold off. All right, Mary. This is going to be a weird one. You're going to have to explain to everyone cupcake drama.
Cupcake drama. Cupcake-Gate, if you will. A spousal feud has erupted on TikTok. A place where it should never be. But I feel like we're the kids who are told to take sides in the parents' divorce, and it's all online. So it started because this woman named Elizabeth made a TikTok crying in her kitchen. Mm-hmm. And she said, you have to make a birthday cake for yourself so that your kids can, sing happy birthday to you and be happy when you're all alone.
I would just buy the cake personally, but.
So it wasn't actually a cake, by the way. It was cupcakes, but that doesn't matter. Let's just watch the video.
Oh, I don't know if
in case you haven't seen it.
I think I've only got the Amiri King one, and I've got the Robbie Starbuck one.
Oh. I'll just send it to you.
Send me the original, and then we can start from there. Because there's a bunch of stuff here.
And it has appropriately sad music.
Well, we will be muting the music, guys, because I'm sick of getting copyright claimed here. Okay, hold please. Full screen. Yes, the music is very sad.
Yeah.
Being a single mom is making your own birthday cake on your birthday so that your babies can feel happy they are singing to you. As you can see, she is crying.
Crying and using some cake mix.
As one does.
Cupcakes for her own birthday. And this went viral because I saw a bunch of feminists reposting it, and they were saying, "You would be making your own birthday cake even if you were still married, honey."
Oh, that's really nice.
So it was just bitterness all around before we even got to the second part of this story.
We're off to a great start.
We're off to a great start, as you can see. It went super viral, and then her ex-husband sees the video, and he decides to make a response and tell his side of the story, which everyone was asking for. So I guess we should hear him out.
All right, here we go. Muting and again, because I don't know how well it can hear that, but hold on. There we go.
So I've been sent this video a lot over the last few days.
Oh, we're going to get copyrighted for this one, too, because he leaves the music on in the background.
It is what it is.
People asking my thoughts and my comments on it. And before anyone says, oh, you don't know her situation or, you don't know what she's going through, well, I do.
He's got a very surfer bro voice.
I hate his voice. I really do, yeah.
I'm her ex-husband, and right now I have full custody.
I'm sorry. It sounds like he's trying to make his voice way lower than it is.
So he's got full custody of their kids.
He's showing all the papers. He's showing the receipts.
I have all weekdays and weekends, time sharing with the kids, all at holiday academic breaks. And for her to get any rights back to the kids, these are the things that she needs to do. And yes, child support, she owes that. It's up to $21,000. So she's a mother and doesn't pay child support.
This is her mugshot from getting arrested for fraud.
She was then arrested for check fraud, and during that hearing, it turned out that it was found that she stole almost $1 million from another guy. And also, she faked cancer in the past. These are scams that she would send and post on her page before. So, to sum it up, this person, for people that follow her or giving her praise and telling her how strong and how, amazing she's doing, well, she's really not a full-time mom. She barely has her kids. She goes out all the time. And she doesn't even have a job even. So she...
I like that he just left the sports game on.
Yeah, like he doesn't care at all.
Really someone that other single moms should really be looking towards as for inspiration or anything like that. There are a lot of, hardworking single moms out there. And
what is this lighting setup?
He's like, I think this would be better in sepia tone.
He just turned a desk lamp over on its side.
So hopefully everyone can see this video and know, who she really is.
The truth.
Peace.
Okay.
Yeah, so then that video went insanely viral because people love to get the status update that the person they hated online
is worth
hating. So yeah, that got millions and millions of views. And then Elizabeth responded to his response video. And what she said is that he is actually a Scientologist and that he, like most Scientologists do, engages in psychological torment campaigns against her, where he's created websites.
I'm going to need proof that both he's a Scientologist and that she faked cancer.
I'm going to need all the proof. So he's allegedly created websites in her name to spread false information about her, all sorts of things. Let's watch There is precedent
for faking cancer. We've covered stories with people who have gotten huge GoFundMes by faking cancer.
It wouldn't be the first time. I just sent you that video if you needed it.
Hold on.
That is not it.
Okay, you sent me another one?
Yeah.
Okay, or is it this one underneath?
I think so.
Okay.
So we finally got an update and a response from Elizabeth, the single mom who was crying while making her own birthday cake.
Music.
In the video, she starts by saying that Andrew, her ex-husband, has been extremely abusive. He continues to manipulate and control her, including creating websites and social media accounts to attack her.
Andrew has created websites, TikToks, essentially everything since I left him. Andrew is extremely abusive and has always been extremely abusive.
She stated that Andrew, who is a doctor, manipulates his financial situation to appear insolvent, impacting custody and support agreements. He also convinced Elizabeth to sign an agreement under duress when she had no resources.
I see all my children, one who does everything until he pulls them away. And the reason by that is the agreement that you guys have seen online. And I first left him out of abuse. I had no resources, no money. Nothing. He said, if you sign these papers, nothing will change on when you see them, and I will
The
not
jump
ruin
cuts
your
are
life.
freaking me
Elizabeth continues to see her children, but faces constant interference from Andrew, who uses legal and psychological tactics to limit her access. She said that Andrew's behavior is influenced by his association with Scientology, making the situation more complex and challenging.
I was still seeing them always, even now. On Friday, the dance recital, afterwards, 4 of my girlfriends asked for me to go to dinner for my birthday. And I said to him, after the dance recital, I'm going to go to the dinner, but I'm still free for the rest of the weekend for the girls. He said, no, you made the decision to go to dinner. You will not see them on your birthday. You will not see them any other. But also, he's a doctor, eye clinic, and he essentially runs all his bills through his business. And he pays himself like $350, $400 to turn that in as his financial affidavits, which essentially means he makes no money.
Elizabeth claims that she experienced severe mental health issues, including psychosis, due to the trauma of the abusive relationship. She continued by saying that Andrew demanded her to delete her social media to stop his harassment, which she attempted, but he still continued his attacks regardless.
When I got divorced, definitely when I left my husband, I was out drinking, or I was going through it. I mean, he got scared that I was getting followers from my video and thought, this is the time I'm going to bring her down before she can ever come out about me. He told me delete my page yesterday and he would stop. He never stopped.
She should show the receipts for this.
Yeah, I don't
Elizabeth
know.
also said that she has faced public scrutiny and death threats, exacerbated by Andrew's efforts to tarnish her reputation. Despite the challenges, Elizabeth said she remains devoted to their children, ensuring they are safe and well cared for.
My family, my friends, anyone in my life has said, Elizabeth, you have to come forward with what is happening because he can't keep doing this to you. And I have always said, I don't care what he does to me.
I'm sorry, the
What I care
dramatic
about-
music is just making me
What I
laugh.
care about is my children. He has essentially every single person in my life turned them against me.
She then ended.
I thought the friends and the family said the opposite. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if she's keeping her story straight. I don't know who to believe.
I mean, you kind of
So really,
you
like-
said inherently he's a Scientologist, so he's not trustworthy. I see no proof that he's I mean, if he is a Scientologist, I think that the average person will say he came with at least some facsimile of what looks like receipts. She just came forward with accusations.
Right. Thank
Sorry
you.
for the unfortunate crisis part. There's a $20 one there.
From Emily Ziegler. I want to see how she faked cancer. As a mom fighting cancer and trying to get help with med bills, how do you fake this shit? There's no way I can fake this. People have done it before, mainly social media scammers, but, you know, I'm not surprised. Here's the thing, though. I don't feel like it was appropriate for him to make that response video in the first place because she wasn't calling him out. She wasn't saying anything about him or why she's a single mom or trashing anybody. She was just being cringy and self-pitying.
Yes.
He didn't really need to trash her like
And
that.
apparently he has like his whole page is dedicated to like dunking on her.
Yeah, which is really bizarre.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just the modern day. It's such a ridiculous story. It's the most 2024 thing I've ever heard.
And he's like the town crier, right? Where he goes around defaming her all over the village.
I mean, you're going to have a lot of people are going to have a hard time buying what she said without any type of let me rephrase that. Men are going to have an easier time believing him, and women are going to have an easier time believing her, not just because of the genders, but because he came with what looked like receipts and she just came with spurious accusations and appeals to emotion.
Yeah, this says his TikTok page has been dedicated to her since 2022, which is, I'm sorry, even if she is the fraud POS that he claims she is, dedicating an entire TikTok page to talking shit about your ex-wife is unhinged behavior.
It's kind of making me think of like the dad and daughter feud, where the dad was the 68-year-old breakdancer, and
honestly,
she was and yeah.
I feel like this is worse because there are kids involved.
Yeah.
And if he's actually a Scientologist, that is, I mean, I hope I can at least, I know you're a Tom Cruise stan, but that we can agree that that is a red flag, that he's a Scientologist.
People in the chat are saying that he's denying that, whatever that means. Like if that's true, if that's true, then
who can say what's true anymore?
Exactly,
it doesn't matter.
All it is fodder.
All
for
that
us
matters
to laugh
is clout,
and fodder for us to laugh at. And all of it started because she made the cringy video crying on social media, which turns a lot of people off anyways. So the whole situation just seems like one cringy video led you down like a rabbit hole of pain and despair, which really, really sucks for all parties involved.
Yeah, so I guess the lesson...
And the kids lose out more, and the kids lose more than anyone.
The lesson here is that you should not post videos of yourself crying on TikTok, regardless of what reasoning you think you have. Mm-hmm. It's not a good idea. And the truth doesn't matter on TikTok, only clout matters. And I don't take one side or the other. I just think that all of this should have been settled face-to-face.
Correct.
Or in court and not on social media, because there was never any reason you needed to publicize your beef. Why do you even have TikTok beef with your ex-wife? That's insane.
It's the
grow up.
It's the world we live in 2024.
This guy.
All right.
I mean, both of them, really.
Let's go super chats.
Okay, we've got a lot to catch up on. Greg Duvier said, Brett, did Mocha break your finger? Is Mocha to blame for this?
It was not the cat. I make fun of the cat all the time, but I'm not gonna falsely accuse of it anything. There's not gonna be a Mocha 2 movement.
You don't give Mocha the credit.
I do not.
Bad Comedy said, oh, we already read that one. Potatoes for Seamus said, hope your hand is doing better, Brett. Let's go.
It's fine. It didn't hurt when it happened. It just looked gross.
It'll be okay. 16-bit Mascot said, hey guys, appreciate your show. Keep it real and stuff.
Well, thank you.
We will. Thank you. Pat the Plumber said, Mary's dad, a.k.a. the captain. Yes. Yeah, my dad is Captain Morgan. You figured it out.
That makes perfect sense.
Alfred LaRock said, Manect, it not as creepy as live call, LOL. So you could ask Mary for fashion advice and get a voicemail back, and then people could ask Brett about Minnesota restaurants and get a text back.
Okay.
Would you do it?
If you're in Minnesota, go to the Blue Door. There, I just did it for you for free.
Well, you
Alfred,
give them something to anticipate on your Manect.
On my Manect.
I can't. How do you make a name that's that difficult to pronounce? Like
Manect.
Manect or Minect?
Minectite.
Minect? I don't know.
Let's do two more.
Patrick McNeely said, these tech guys are more out of touch than the boomer politicians I know. At least the politicians know hip hop has been dead for 20 years.
Okay.
Well, they're bringing back like the Beastie Boys in the tech
Run
world.
DMC.
That Stanzatastic said, we already read that one. Grizzlocks. I can't believe I found something that makes Colbert's syringes look good.
Yeah.
Don't remind me of that.
Yeah, they're both bad. There's something, except for the Colbert syringe video is nefarious in its nature.
Yeah.
The other one's just cringy. Colbert is cringy and nefarious, which is a bad combo.
Cringy and evil.
All right, let's hold off on the rest and let us come back after the fact. It is time, or was that, what
Brett, are you losing your mind?
I think I'm losing my mind a little bit. I'm losing my mind a little bit. We got super chats to get through. I was like, how are we that far behind? I know what it is I've got a bunch of
limbo
tabs open for tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. Let's
okay. Brett, I had a feeling, but I was gonna let you figure it out on your own.
Yeah, no. I was looking at the thing I had for can security, which we didn't cover.
Okay, we're fine. We don't have any more topics to cover. Corey Anderson said, Mary, in regards to your comment about the song choice for the Reagan trailer, Tears for Fears is arguably one of the greatest bands from the 80s. Boo. Okay, it works in Donnie Darko. It does not work in as a cover of the song in the trailer for a movie about Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, the point is, guys, is that what they do is they take an old song and they make a haunting cover.
Or wait, which was that one in?
I don't.
Tears for Fears was in.
I mean, it's been in a lot, but you'd have to name a specific.
Well, Hunger Games would be my generation.
The point is, guys, they take haunting remixes of trailers of songs.
Haunting.
And that's literally what they.
It's the opposite of haunting. It's just cringy. Surenko Productions said, I'm telling you right now, that cow is not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the justified reaction in that circumstance. Pat the Plumber said the quartering is correct. I've been waiting for more Mad Max, not more Furioso.
What about Gar Furioso?
But is it true that people are tired of female protagonists regardless of how it's done?
Like I said, it's just harder to get people on board now because they've been burned one too many times.
That Stanzatastic said, the last movie I saw in theaters was Avengers Endgame before everything turned to shit.
It really is like between that, like Avengers Endgame, and then COVID happened, and then everything just fell apart.
That's actually true for a lot of people. I'm sure there are some people who are just never going to go back. That's Stanzatastic. I'd go to a theater just to buy popcorn, then leave. Popcorn is the best thing there, sadly. Well, just go to the grocery store. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, if you don't have something that I want to see enough to go out to see it at a specific time, then I will wait and stream it at my leisure.
There you go.
And you are well within your rights.
You have to create must-see movies, not just must-see television.
Shane H. Wilder, last movie I saw in theaters was Cabrini, and I had to hunt it out. Sadly, I was the only one in the theater.
I don't doubt that. It would have been. That didn't get that big of a release.
Very niche.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder. I just had a thought. You were actually very close to becoming Eye Patch Mary over the weekend. I'm sorry. I'll get my coat and see myself out. I was dangerously close to going blind in my left eye.
Oh, the other reason I had it all mixed up is we put topics 2 and 3 together.
Oh,
we didn't go to super chats in between them.
Zach Yandel said, Mary, if you are injured, you don't panic. You scream, breathe, smile, assess the situation. Not saying that's what Brett is doing.
What? I'm confused.
So I'm supposed to scream, but also breathe and smile and assess the situation at the same time. That's a lot.
When I hit my finger, like I get up and I go, felt like I broke my finger, and I'm like, no, it's fine. And then it
ignores problem.
No. So what happened was I fell at spot 2. And I continued to skate and then re-hit it on the last trick that I tried at like the last spot we were at. And that was probably the one that ended up doing the most damage because it was already injured by that point.
You thought you were in the ignoring the problem to problem going away pipeline.
Usually that works.
Shane H. Wilder, when you do make it yourself, they bitch and moan about that too. See Daily Wire's Snow White. You can't win.
Correct.
Very true. DCNC said, Morg and Bambi, my 2 fave fatty chunguses.
Ow!
Great.
Thanks.
We'll work on that. That Stanzatastic said, once virtual reality is perfected, there will be no need for movie theaters. IMAX theater on your face? I don't want that, honestly.
That's what she said. Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
She said, I don't want that? That's worrying.
No, IMAX theater in your face. Never mind. Continue. And also, how that technology's got to be a ways away, right? And not going to be consumer friendly for a long time.
Virtual reality?
Yeah. It's not going to be consumer friendly for a long time.
Their idea of it is like seats that shake.
Well, they got that with 4DX now.
They've got 4DX. Yeah. They could do it with Sense.
That would be awful.
That would kind of suck.
I don't want that.
Zach Yandel said, honest definition of woke An ideology that intends to undermine a country by attacking its values, history, and culture through shaming, subversion, and manipulation of social groups.
That's not how it's applied to art, though.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good enough definition.
Not, at least not in the context of art.
Yeah. We'll have to workshop that. That Stanzatastic said Netflix canceled. Check.
There you go.
You canceled yours?
That's what he said.
Well, congrats. That's a good thing. Corey Anderson said
it's qualling.
Oh, qualling is military jargon for qualifying. Okay. Got it. DCNC said Hermione voice. It's not Furiosa. It's Furiosa.
I kept saying it's not Furiosa. It's Furiosa.
But which one is it?
It's neither.
The Manic Mustache said, late as always and apropos to spirit fingers, have broken my fingers so many times I can only drink my beverages like a southern dandy. Luckily, we found that one I lost in the forest fire. Pinkies high.
Yeah, my fingers have been broken so many times that in the winter they don't really close properly anymore. So that's why this is nothing new for me.
Corey Anderson said, the dude has receipts. She has accusations. I believe, dude. Don't care if he is a Scientologist. Women always try to make themselves the victim.
There are probably more than a few people that agree with you.
Did Tom Cruise have a nasty divorce with
Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes.
I don't remember. Let's we'd have to do some looking into that. I don't know their private lives entirely.
That Stanzatastic said she has the crazy eyes as well. Common trait.
SSR eyes.
I didn't think she looked crazy. She looked pretty normal to me, but she was like crying. Shane H. Wilder said she is showing no receipts. Regardless, none of this should be online. Both are cringe people who need to get the F off the internet.
Correct.
True, but at the same time, these are the people who make being on the internet as an observer interesting.
Yeah, we joke, but it's kind of part of our job. And,
yeah.
And we would be nowhere without them.
That Stanzatastic said minute to connect equals minect.
Well, all right then. I didn't know that.
I think that made sense to Patrick Bet David and only him. Pat the Plumber said, yes, Brett, it's the tabs, not the Percocet.
Okay.
Okay. Crit Nature said, so Wars of the Roses online edition, basically all for attention. We're living in great times, guys.
It is a certain type of crazy when you get to experience all this out when they're not even part of your friend group.
But they can be in spirit.
Yes.
Prince Elian said, Liz and Drew Cray, they ain't got the answers, sway. What?
Okay.
What does that mean? Shane H. Wilder said the Gary Jules cover of Mad World by Tears for Fears was in Donnie Darko. You are correct, Mary. Okay, I knew I was
if we're talking about
not
that
losing
song,
my
yes.
mind.
Yeah, that in a lot of people would consider the Gary Jules version of that song to be the important one now.
Mm-hmm.
Like more so than the Tears for Fears one, I think.
Porco Rosso Forever said, Brett, will we get copyright struck for this? Dasovic. Glad you're not hurt too bad. Also married too, I guess.
Well, sorry for caring about whether the show gets in trouble, guys.
It's okay, Brett. We understand. Shane H. Wilder said, I think DCNC misunderstands how Chungus works. If you don't know Chungus is a compliment, then I can't help you. DCNC said popping first knuckle over popping second knuckle.
Well, all right then. I'm not going to pop any knuckle. All right, guys, that is all of them. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already? Please and thank you. And Mary, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. If you guys want to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, except for this week because we were off on Monday. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you prefer to listen rather than watch. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's a couple more there for you.
Shane H. Wilder said pop, lock, and drop it.
Well, all right then.
That doesn't sound healthy. That Stanzatastic said thanks for all y'all do.
And thank you so much for
watching. You're
welcome. Yes.
And thank you for being here.
All right, guys. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.